How's it going, folks? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be covering Islam Makhachev versus Charles the Bronx Oliveira. I mean, this is a massive fight, massive rematch, and I've got my take on it. That's what I'm going to give you today. I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to give you my thoughts. And I'm going to say something here, right? There's a few MMA content creators recently that have come out with videos, including like people like Tracy and a few smaller MMA content creators, for example, like myself, around this level of tier level. You know, you have people like Tracy, the MMA guru, people like this giving their thoughts. Respect them massively. They're both picking Islam Makhachev, but Tracy came out with a video a few days ago essentially saying how Oliveira can completely win and dominate Makhachev. Now, this is one thing I have with Tracy, right? Now, I completely agree with his thoughts, right? Some of the points he made on why Oliveira can win and how Oliveira can win, completely agree. You know, we're just going to have to disagree and agree to disagree with a few of the things he says. I feel like he leaves points very open-ended. You know, he would say he needs to just run at him with kill shots and chase him and F him up and just go after him. There was a lot of that he was saying, and it's like, okay, I get this. And he was also saying, I want to see him go balls to the wall early in that fight, go after him. And it's like, yes, no problem. And I get you're sitting back speaking about how you think Oliveira can win and his way to victory. And I do agree to a certain extent. However, I feel like the way you're going about explaining it is not how the fight will play out. That's just us agreeing to disagree. I love your channel. I watch every single one of your videos. But when I was sitting back listening to this one, I was like, I understand you're sitting back saying how you think Oliveira is going to win and his method to victory and how he can go out there and blow him out the water. But you have to remember, if you get Makhachev is a master at grabbing underhooks on you, especially in boxing range, you know. And I feel like you said about the low leg kick and how Oliveira should treat that like a jab. You know, we've seen Makhachev, people like Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, pick up their kicks from leg kicks and take them down. You know, and I get Oliveira's is a powerful whip. You know. Personally, I think you should fire it straight after a jab. Oliveira throws a jab from far range, and then as Makhachev enters, you throw the leg kick, you know. And I think you weren't speaking about things like this. You were just kind of open-endedly saying, Makhachev and he can get hit with this and he can get hit with that. Oliveira needs to do this. Oliveira needs to do that. And I did agree, however, what you said originally in the video. I very much agree with how you said, you know, Oliveira was a bit more tentative, a bit more patient, you know, regardless of why that was. He was trying to stand and go one shot for one shot with him. I don't think Oliveira can do that with Makhachev because Makhachev, as you said, will just look to counter, and I completely agree with that point. Much respect. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm here to give you my thoughts on how Oliveira will beat Islam Makhachev, and I am picking Oliveira to win, actually, you know. I feel like with my style of how I think about it and with my style of how I'm approaching this one, I truly think we're going to have to agree to disagree here. And I know you're picking Makhachev. I know most of the community is picking Makhachev. He's the sensible and smart choice. However, I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira. I just feel like, you know, Makhachev is going to come out here with a point to prove. And regardless of what that point to prove would be, I think in his head, he's going to come out here, look to make a big statement early on, really put the pressure on Oliveira, and I think it'll be a first or second round finish for Oliveira, regardless of if that's a TKO or submission. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I'll most likely release another video closer to the time with an in-depth prediction. But this is what I think Oliveira needs to do. The fight bell goes. I think just throw a jab out there, you know. Be loose with him. Throw a jab out there. Have your shoot the box tight stance. Throw your jab out there. Keep it patient. Throw a leg kick after the jab as Makhachev potentially would look to enter, you know. And I think this is going to be a big factor. Makhachev is a southpaw, which is something that I don't think Tracy covered. Makhachev is a southpaw. Beneil Dariush was a southpaw. That right high kick is there all day long for Oliveira, especially against someone like Makhachev. You know, we've seen Volkanovski get very close with it, and Volkanovski's a little guy. Oliveira, I think, if he throws the jab out there, lands a few low leg kicks, pressures Makhachev back with a lot of jabs, a right hand, left hooks, as Makhachev looks to maybe close the distance, as Makhachev looks to counter, stand back, Makhachev enters range again, jab leg kick. Let him clinch you. Let Oliveira be in the clinch for the first round. You know, I think that right high kick is there for Oliveira. after implementing a game plan of low calf kicks. Do not throw body kicks. You know, Oliveira is not known to be throwing body punches. His knees in the clinch are vicious. If he in the clinch, a few knees to the body would do lovely, you know. However, I think if you rattle Makhachev early enough, the cardio aspect will not play too much of a factor, because, you know, we've never seen actually Oliveira go for the full 5 rounds. We've seen him go the distance with someone like Ferguson, but he's a finisher. He's a brutal, hardcore finisher, and that's what people aren't forgetting. You know, but they're not taking into consideration the fact that Oliveira knows how to pick kill shots, but I don't think you can just sit back and say, oh, Oliveira needs to run at him with kill shots. It has to be a tactical approach. It can't be balls to the wall, like Lucas Tracy said. If you go balls to the wall against someone like Makhachev, he's just going to underhook you. He's going to underhook you, and he's also going to counter you, because he is slick like that. He's better than Khabib on the feet, mainly because he's a southpaw. He's awkward. He's a southpaw, and he's obviously a big Dagestani rat. He's got power, you know, and fair play to him. He's built a career off of winning. I want to say this though, we've seen Makhachev get knocked out. He's not invincible. We've seen him be dropped in his last fight, and he's going to come out here with a point to prove, and I think that's going to get him in trouble, because I think he's in Abu Dhabi. He's got a point to prove. He's beaten Charles before. Charles is going back to where he lost the belt. So he's going to go out there the same way. People aren't giving him credit for this. He lost to Makhachev. He fought beneil dariush, a very tough fight in the top 5. In Canada. He'd never won in Canada before. He was 0-5 in Canada going into that fight, and he went in there knowing that's mental demons for you. That is mental demons. And now if he goes out there and he finishes Islam Makhachev in this next fight, he's beaten everyone in the top 5 by finish. That is an incredible stat, and that puts him on the GOAT list regardless of anything. No one has ever done that before. No one has ever finished everyone in the top 5 of the division. Israel Adesanya is a boring point fighter. I do not care what you say. He all of a sudden has knockout power when he grows a tit, you know, obviously on steroids. Video coming soon. Big video coming soon on him being on them. I want to say this though. I'm going to throw this out there, folks. This is what I'm going to say. Oliveira is going to catch Makhachev with a right high kick. After going to the legs, after jabbing him, going to the legs, a right hand, left hook over the top. Makhachev is a very awkward southpaw, and we've just seen Oliveira handle an awkward southpaw like beneil dariush. And I truly think if you're going skill for skill on the feet, with no grappling, no clinching involved, beneil dariush makes it very ugly and knocks out Islam Makhachev, you know, and I think Oliveira's going to go out there and finish Islam. I genuinely am going to say this. First or second round submission for Oliveira, rear naked choke. Right high kick, stumbles Makhachev backwards. Oliveira lunges in, uppercut, left hook, right hand. Makhachev's down against the cage, he turns to stand up, pounce on his back and strangle the man. Sets up an incredible trilogy. They've both submitted each other. Third one's for all the marbles, massive fight. I truly think that's how the fight's going to go. That's a crazy prediction. Everything has to go perfect statistically and technically for Oliveira for my prediction to come true. But I'm going to throw it out there. I could sound like a complete idiot here. I think he's going to submit him or knock him out. One thing Islam Makhachev did incredibly well though is when he was on the ground with Oliveira, he took half guard. Straight away took half guard. You know, half guard, you're not as secure in the position. You know, it's maybe easier to shrimp out of half guard if you're the bottom fighter and regain your guard. However, Islam Makhachev held him there, did a bit of damage and strangled him. You know, and I think from Oliveira this time, no more flashy shit. Calculated approach with kill shots. That's what you got to go for here. A low leg kick, bottom of the calf. Every time he comes forward, jab him as he looks to close the distance, bop! Because Oliveira has the technique to do that from close. If I'm jabbing Makhachev and Makhachev's then coming in very quickly, bop! Turn your foot and swipe out his bottom leg and get out of there. Because if you're at that close of range, if you're close enough range to land a kick, but you're also close enough range to where someone can grab you, landing that shot and putting them off center is a much easier way to fucking stuff it and get out the way. And I truly think that's the approach Oliveira has to take here. I think Oliveira is going to beat Islam Makhachev in the rematch, and I truly think that. And that's unbiased because I know I exactly understand why everyone is picking Makhachev. And even my prediction here, I'm 50-50. I'm so 50-50 on this fight because it's like, did Oliveira have a bad night against him? No. Makhachev just shut him down. Oliveira came at it the wrong way. But we've seen Oliveira beat the best of the best time and time again. And of course, Makhachev is the best of the best. He's just beaten Alexander Volkanovski. But I think it's going to be Oliveira's night. I think he's going to blow up after this fight, even more than he did before, and become the biggest superstar in the UFC. I'm releasing actually a video on the top 5 superstars in the UFC, and you'll be surprised at who I have on this list, you know? Look, this is a big fight, okay? I'm picking Oliveira. Slate me in the comments all you want. I think he's going to embarrass and defeat Islam Makhachev in spectacular fashion. Doubt him now. Doubt the Bronx now. He's just dealt with a southpaw. He's dealing with another southpaw. It could be an ugly one for Oliveira, but it also could be a spectacular one if he comes out with less of a reckless abandon style and more of an aggressive kill shot, one shot at a time combinational style. Not just going balls to the wall, Lucas Tracy. Thanks very much. Love you, brother, but come on, man. That video was kind of embarrassing for you. I know you were saying how he can win, but you're giving no substance behind picking anything, you know? It was just, I was listening to it, and I was such a big fan of you. I was sitting back listening to it, like I just didn't, you were saying, this is why I think you did wrong. You were saying some things that had such value, such great value to what you were saying, some legs to stand on under every point you were making, and I was like, oh my god, fair play to him, he's doing very well in breaking this down. Then you would just come out with something that sounded so uneducated and so ridiculous, and it kind of made me think, you're drawing me in, and then you're keeping me here with this like ridiculous stuff, and it's just like, I completely get where you're coming from, and I understand the point you're trying to make, but I don't think you went about it in the right way, especially if you're trying to educate people and give an in-depth, detailed breakdown, you know, of how Makhachev will lose to Oliveira, and how Oliveira can get it done. That's all I have to say on that. I hope to collaborate with him one day, you know, maybe when I climb the ranks in the MMA YouTube community, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Fair play to him. Makhachev gets it done. First or second round submission or TKO. I'm kind of leaning towards a submission. I can see an uppercut in there. I can see a head kick running into a big uppercut, you know, and then a left hook. Come back to this video once it happens.